Ladies, there's something powerful happening every single day when it comes to how we present ourselves, how we live our lives, and how we move through this world. But sometimes we miss the fact that there are things that others, especially men, notice about us. Things that might surprise us. These aren't the obvious traits. They're the hidden elements that speak volumes. Even when we think confidence is one of the most powerful and magnetic qualities a woman can possess, but often it is misunderstood. Confidence doesn't scream, it doesn't demand attention, and it doesn't need validation from anyone else. True confidence is subtle, it doesn't make a lot of noise, but it leaves a profound impact. Men often notice this quiet confidence, even when a woman doesn't say a word. Confidence is not about being perfect or having it all together. It's not about being unshakable or invulnerable. In fact, real confidence can coexist with imperfection. It's the ability to embrace who you are, flaws and all, and stand tall in your own skin. It's about being comfortable in your individuality, knowing that you don't have to be anyone else but yourself. When a woman exudes this kind of self-assuredness, it's not only inspiring, but it's captivating. Confidence shows in the way a woman holds herself, how she walks into a room, how she interacts with others, and how she handles situations. Have you ever seen someone walk into a room and instantly draw attention, not because they are flashy, but because of the way they carry themselves? That's the subtlety of confidence at work. It's in the poise of her movements, the way she makes eye contact without hesitation, the way she owns every step without a second thought. Confidence isn't about being loud or in your face. It's about owning your space without apology. There's also a quiet strength in confidence, the way a woman remains composed even in the face of adversity. Men notice when a woman doesn't let fear or doubt define her. Instead, she embraces challenges and faces them with grace and resilience. It's the way she approaches life's obstacles with a quiet determination, knowing that her value doesn't fluctuate based on external circumstances. When a woman carries herself with this type of inner strength, it sends a message without her even having to speak. It's a message that says, I am enough, I am worthy, and I don't need anyone to validate that for me. Confidence also reflects in how a woman expresses her opinion and stands by it. It's not about dominating a conversation or forcing her views on others. It's about having the courage to speak up, to share her thoughts, and to take up space in a world that often tries to make her shrink. When she shares her voice, it's with the quiet assurance that her perspective matters, that her words have value. And when she doesn't have all the answers, her confidence allows her to admit it, to learn and grow, because she knows that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's part of the strength that makes her real. What makes this form of confidence so subtle yet so powerful is that it's not based on external things like achievements or possessions. It's rooted in self-acceptance and inner peace. A woman who is confident doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. She simply is. She knows her worth is not dependent on the approval of others, but rather on her own self-affirmation. Men notice when a woman carries this kind of energy because it's rare. In a world filled with people trying to be something they're not, it's incredibly refreshing to meet someone who has fully accepted who they are and walks through the world with that understanding. But let's be clear, confidence isn't just about the individual. It's also about how she lifts others up. A truly confident woman doesn't feel threatened by other people's success. Instead, she celebrates it. She knows that there is room for everyone to shine. When a woman is confident, she inspires others to be confident as well. Men notice this in her, how she supports others, how she builds others up, and how she encourages them to step into their own power. This is the true mark of someone who knows their value. She understands that confidence doesn't diminish anyone else. Instead, it creates a ripple effect that elevates everyone. True confidence also brings peace. It brings the peace that comes from knowing that you don't need to be anyone else but you. It's a kind of calm assurance that shines through even in the toughest moments. Men notice when a woman has this peace within her, how she remains centered and balanced, even when life feels chaotic. This is what makes a woman truly captivating. It's not the loudness of her confidence, but the quiet assurance she exudes that makes her stand out. In conclusion, the subtlety of confidence is a beautiful thing. It's not the flashy, in-your-face kind of confidence, but the kind that comes from within. It's the confidence of a woman who knows who she is, accepts her flaws, and stands firm in her authenticity. Men notice it, even when they don't say anything. They see the way she moves, the way she holds herself, the way she handles challenges, and the way she lifts others up. It's the quiet power that speaks louder than words ever could. And that, my friends, is the subtlety of confidence. Stress is a constant in life, whether it comes from work, relationships, personal challenges, or the expectations we set for ourselves. How we handle stress says a lot about us, and it's often one of the most significant traits that people, especially men, Notice in women. The way a woman navigates stress can be the difference between feeling overwhelmed and staying calm, composed, and resilient. But it's not just about how she manages stress in the moment. It's about her overall approach to life's difficulties and how she shows up in the face of adversity. When life feels like it's spinning out of control, a woman's ability to remain grounded becomes a testament to her strength. Men notice the women who, even when everything around them feels chaotic, still seem to hold their center. It's not because they're immune to stress, but because they know how to manage it with grace. The woman who can hold it together when things fall apart isn't pretending to be perfect. She's embodying the truth that she is strong enough to face whatever comes her way. Her response to stress is measured, intentional, and rooted in resilience, not panic. Men notice when a woman doesn't let stress take over her life. She doesn't identify with the overwhelming feelings of anxiety or frustration that stress can bring. Instead of being consumed by it, she chooses to manage it. This doesn't mean she avoids stress or pretends that it doesn't exist. It means she acknowledges it without allowing it to control her. The woman who can take a step back, breathe, and remind herself that this moment, though challenging, is temporary, commands respect. It shows strength and a level of emotional intelligence that is not only admired, but deeply admired by those around her. Handling stress well means a woman knows her limits. She understands when to say no, when to ask for help, and when to give herself a break. She doesn't see needing help as a sign of weakness. Instead, she sees it as a sign of wisdom. Men notice when a woman has the emotional maturity to recognize when she's stretched too thin, and how she's unafraid to take the necessary steps to protect her well-being. There's power in setting boundaries and knowing when to step back, and it's a mark of emotional health. In high-pressure situations, men often observe a woman's ability to stay calm. When faced with an unexpected challenge or crisis, the woman who takes a moment to pause, breathe, and assess the situation with clarity is one who exudes a quiet but unshakable strength. She doesn't let panic dictate her actions. Instead, she takes calculated steps to find solutions. It's in these moments that her true strength shines. She understands that stress, while uncomfortable, is an opportunity for growth and learning. Rather than letting it paralyze her, she uses it as fuel to propel herself forward. And in doing so, she creates an environment of stability, not just for herself, but for those around her. Men notice when a woman doesn't crumble under pressure. Instead, they see how she handles high-stress scenarios with poise and rationality. Her ability to focus on the task at hand, assess the problem without getting lost in the emotion of the situation, and remain solution-oriented is a quality that commands admiration. Whether it's at work, in her personal life, or in difficult social situations, the woman who doesn't allow stress to take over demonstrates a depth of emotional control that is rare and highly valued. A woman who knows how to handle stress doesn't isolate herself when things get tough. Men notice the women who lean into their support systems, whether that's friends, family, or partners. She understands that reaching out for help doesn't make her weak. It makes her stronger. It's about knowing when to be vulnerable, when to share her burden, and when to allow others to lift her up. Stress doesn't become a heavy weight she carries alone. It becomes a shared experience that, when handled together, becomes easier to bear. The ability to ask for help, to share your worries, and to trust others with your vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of emotional strength. The woman who is open about her challenges, who asks for guidance or support when she needs it, shows that she knows how to care for herself in the best possible way. Men see this as a deeply admirable trait, someone who doesn't pretend to have it all together, but instead knows the value of connection and support. Self-care is an essential tool in managing stress, and the woman who actively invests in her own well-being is a woman who knows how to handle pressure. Men notice when a woman takes time for herself, whether it's through meditation, exercise, a quiet moment of reflection, or simply indulging in a hobby that brings her joy. The act of taking care of her mind and body is an acknowledgement that her well-being is important and deserves attention. It's in these moments of self-care that she recharges and renews her energy, enabling her to continue handling life's stressors with balance and resilience. But self-care isn't just about physical rest. It's also about mental and emotional renewal. Men see the difference when a woman makes time to nurture her soul, whether through mindfulness practices, journaling, or surrounding herself with positivity. A woman who takes the time to care for her emotional health, to process her feelings, and to regain her sense of peace is a woman who will be able to face life's stresses without losing herself in the process. She understands that she cannot pour from an empty cup, and she prioritizes her inner peace as part of her ability to navigate the chaos around her. Men notice when a woman handles stress with patience and perspective. Stress can feel overwhelming, but the woman who is able to keep the bigger picture in mind doesn't get swept away by the intensity of the moment. She understands that not everything is urgent and that some things will pass with time. This perspective allows her to remain grounded even in moments of high tension. She practices patience with herself and with others, knowing that things don't always need to be resolved immediately. Her ability to take a step back, gain perspective, and trust the process is what makes her unshakable in the face of stress. In conclusion, how a woman handles stress speaks volumes about who she is as a person. Men notice the subtle ways she manages pressure with grace, patience, emotional control, and resilience. It's not about being perfect or never feeling stressed. It's about how she navigates the difficult moments and rises above them. The way she handles stress is a reflection of her inner strength and emotional intelligence. It's the quiet power she exudes, even in the most chaotic situations, that makes her stand out. This is what makes a woman truly captivating. A woman who doesn't let stress define her, but instead uses it to demonstrate her strength, poise, and resilience. In a world that constantly demands our attention, one of the most profound and often overlooked qualities a woman can possess is her ability to be fully present. It's a skill that transcends the noise of everyday life, focusing on what truly matters in the here and now. Whether she's in a conversation with a friend, spending time with her family, or simply being with herself, a woman who can truly be present commands a unique kind of respect and admiration. Men in particular notice when a woman can offer her undivided attention and connect deeply with the moment. Being present isn't as simple as just being physically in the room. It's about bringing your entire self, your mind, your heart, and your soul into the experience. It's about shutting out the distractions, tuning into the feelings and needs of the moment, and fully immersing yourself in whatever is happening right now. In a society that constantly pulls us in different directions, this ability to be present is a rare and valuable gift. It's not just an action, it's a mindset that requires conscious effort and emotional intelligence. One of the most powerful ways a woman shows her ability to be present is through her engagement in conversations. Men often notice the woman who listens, not just to respond, but to truly understand. She doesn't interrupt, doesn't check her phone or glance around the room. Instead, she focuses entirely on the speaker, making eye contact and reacting thoughtfully to what is being said. Her silence is not one of disinterest, but one of deep attention. She allows the other person to speak fully, and in return, she offers her undivided attention, ensuring they feel heard and valued. Her ability to be present in conversations shows respect, empathy, and emotional intelligence. It shows that she understands the power of connection and the importance of genuinely engaging with others. Men notice when a woman takes the time to listen deeply, when she reflects on their words before speaking, and when she doesn't rush to offer solutions, but instead creates space for them to express themselves. This level of attentiveness fosters trust and creates a strong bond between people. The woman who masters this ability to engage in the moment, to listen intently and without distraction, carries a powerful influence. Another remarkable way a woman's ability to be present is seen is through how she engages with the world around her. Whether she's walking in nature, enjoying a meal with friends, or attending a social event, a woman who is truly present is not distracted by her thoughts, phone, or the chaos of the world. She is engaged with the people and the environment around her. She notices the small details that others often overlook. The way the sunlight filters through the trees, the laughter of a child in the background, or the subtle shift in someone's expression. This ability to stay engaged with her surroundings creates a sense of mindfulness, allowing her to experience life with depth and meaning. It also helps her stay grounded. In a world where everyone seems to be rushing from one task to another, the woman who takes the time to truly appreciate the present moment is someone who values life in all its complexity. Men notice this quality because it's rare. They see how she pauses, takes it all in, and appreciates the beauty in the everyday moments. This appreciation makes her stand out in a world that often feels disconnected and fast-paced. When it comes to relationships, one of the most loving things a woman can do is give her full attention to the people she cares about. Men observe the women who, when spending time with their loved ones, don't allow distractions to steal the moment. In a society where we are constantly bombarded with notifications and emails, the woman who chooses to put her phone down, step away from her work, and fully invest in her relationship sends a powerful message. You are important to me, and I am here with you in this moment. This ability to prioritize the present moment over the distractions of technology or busy schedules not only strengthens her relationships, but also cultivates a deeper sense of connection. She is fully immersed in the conversation, the laughter, the shared experience, and she creates space for others to feel seen and heard. Men notice when a woman can disconnect from the outside world, if only for a moment, to be present with them. This level of attentiveness is both rare and deeply appreciated. It shows that she values the relationship enough to give it her full, undivided attention. Being present doesn't always mean filling the space with words. In fact, the woman who knows how to sit comfortably in silence and simply be creates a powerful form of presence. She doesn't feel the need to constantly talk or fill the space with noise. Instead, she allows the moment to breathe, and she exists fully within it. Men often notice this ability because it's not something that comes naturally to everyone. In a world where silence is often seen as uncomfortable, the woman who embraces it has mastered a certain peace and calmness. Her ability to be present in silence speaks volumes. It's the kind of presence that says, I don't need to do anything, say anything, or be anyone other than who I am with you right now. Whether sitting next to someone in comfortable silence or enjoying the quiet of nature, the woman who embraces stillness is able to communicate without words. This presence becomes a form of emotional connection that goes beyond verbal communication. Men notice the depth and intimacy that silence can bring when a woman is fully present. Perhaps one of the most important aspects of being present is the ability to be fully with yourself. A woman who is able to connect with her own inner world, who can sit with her thoughts and emotions without fear or judgment, is someone who radiates self-awareness and peace. Men notice when a woman is comfortable in her own company, when she can sit alone with her thoughts without distraction or escape. She doesn't rely on constant noise or activity to fill the void. Instead, she finds solace in her own presence. Being present with oneself means acknowledging and accepting your emotions, understanding your needs, and listening to your body. It means making time for self-reflection and self-care. And it shows a deep sense of self-love. The woman who is comfortable in her own skin, who doesn't need external validation to feel complete, is a woman who understands her worth and her power. Men see the quiet confidence in this kind of presence, and they respect it deeply. It's a sign of emotional strength and maturity. Someone who knows that she doesn't need to be anything other than who she is in any given moment. The woman who is truly present doesn't let moments slip away unnoticed. She understands the value of each moment and embraces it fully. Whether she's laughing with friends, reflecting in solitude, or sharing a quiet moment with a loved one, she understands that these moments are fleeting, and so she makes the most of them. Men notice when a woman approaches each moment with this sense of purpose, when she invests herself in experiences rather than rushing through them. She isn't worried about the past or anxious about the future. She's focused on the present moment, making every second count. This presence is not just about physical engagement, but about a deep, mindful appreciation for the now. In conclusion, a woman's ability to be present is one of the most powerful qualities she can possess. It's not just about being physically there, it's about giving herself completely to the moment. It's about fully engaging in conversations, being present with those she loves, embracing silence, connecting with herself, and making the most of every moment. Men notice when a woman is truly present because it is a rare and valuable gift in today's fast-paced world. It shows that she values connection, understands the importance of the here and now, and has mastered the art of being in the moment with grace, empathy, and mindfulness. This ability to be present makes her not only magnetic, but deeply respected. There's an old misconception that vulnerability is a weakness, a fragility that needs to be hidden away, especially in a world that often values strength and independence above all else. However, the truth is that vulnerability is one of the most courageous, powerful, and beautiful traits a woman can possess. It is not a sign of weakness, but rather an indication of emotional strength, authenticity, and the willingness to be seen in her full humanity. When a woman shows her vulnerability, it doesn't just create an emotional connection. It signals to the world that she is strong enough to be open and real, even in her most tender moments. Men, more than they often let on, notice when a woman is able to open up, show her soft spots, and express her true emotion. There's a certain rawness in vulnerability that draws people in, an undeniable magnetic force that says, I am human just like you. And in this truth, there is a deep respect. The woman who allows herself to be vulnerable without fear of judgment exudes a quiet strength that speaks volumes, not just about her character, but about her ability to form deep, meaningful connections. She knows that opening herself up, even when it's scary, creates space for others to do the same. One of the most significant ways vulnerability manifests is through the willingness to express emotions. Many women feel the pressure to suppress their feelings, to maintain a facade of constant control, or to hide their emotional reactions out of fear of being perceived as too sensitive or weak. Yet the woman who shows vulnerability does the opposite. she allows herself to feel and express her emotions freely and without apology. Whether it's joy, sadness, fear, or excitement, she embraces each emotion for what it is, allowing it to be fully present without shame. Men notice when a woman can share how she truly feels without trying to disguise it or bottle it up. It's not about being overly emotional or dramatic. It's about being real. A woman who can express her sadness when she's upset, her excitement when she's happy, or her fear when she's uncertain is someone who is comfortable with herself, no matter how the world may perceive her. This willingness to be vulnerable, to expose her emotions openly, shows a profound strength and authenticity that men deeply respect. She doesn't hide behind a mask of stoicism. And this openness invites others to do the same. The woman who shows vulnerability is not afraid to admit that she isn't perfect. She embraces her flaws, shortcomings, and mistakes with grace. She doesn't strive to create an illusion of perfection for the world to admire. Rather, she is honest about her journey, her struggles, her moments of failure, and her insecurities. Men notice this ability to be genuine and real. Rather than hiding behind a carefully curated image, she chooses to show up as herself, flaws and all. This willingness to be imperfect is liberating. It shows a profound sense of self-acceptance, a woman who is comfortable enough in her own skin to let others see her humanity. There's a quiet confidence in her openness about her imperfections. She doesn't need to be perfect to be worthy of love or respect. Instead, she demonstrates that her worth comes from her authenticity, her courage to embrace all parts of herself, and her ability to continue growing even in the face of imperfection. This rawness resonates deeply with men who recognize that it's not perfection but authenticity that makes a woman truly beautiful. Vulnerability also shows up in the form of asking for help. For many women, especially in today's society, there is a pressure to be self-sufficient, to do it all, to juggle every responsibility, and to always appear capable. But the woman who shows vulnerability understands that it's okay to ask for assistance, to lean on others, and to admit that she doesn't have all the answers. Whether it's asking for help in a difficult situation, expressing that she's struggling emotionally, or simply letting someone in when she feels overwhelmed, this openness is a powerful display of strength. Men notice when a woman is willing to ask for help, not because she is incapable, but because she understands that vulnerability is not a weakness, but an opportunity for growth and connection. Asking for help requires courage. It means acknowledging that we don't have to carry the weight of the world alone. When a woman allows herself to lean on others, it builds deeper trust and intimacy in her relationships. It shows that she is not afraid to let down her guard and trust others with her emotional or physical well-being. This openness fosters genuine bonds and a sense of shared humanity. There is an unparalleled intimacy that arises when a woman is willing to share her deepest fears and desires. She isn't afraid to open up about what keeps her awake at night or what dreams fill her heart. Whether it's the fear of failure, the uncertainty of the future, or the vulnerability of hoping for something more, these moments of honesty create deep emotional connections. By sharing her dreams, she allows herself to be seen in a way that is deeply intimate. She shows the world her heart, her longings, and her hopes for the future. Men notice when a woman is willing to be vulnerable enough to share her biggest fears, her greatest passions, and the things that matter most to her. It creates an environment of openness and mutual respect. It's an invitation to join her in the exploration of these raw, real emotions. Rather than guarding her innermost thoughts, she shares them with courage, understanding that doing so can strengthen the bonds she shares with others. This kind of vulnerability invites closeness, understanding, and a deeper connection that goes beyond surface-level interactions. Another profound way vulnerability shows up is when a woman acknowledges her pain. Whether it's a past heartbreak, a loss, a difficult experience, or emotional scars, the woman who shows vulnerability doesn't hide from her pain. She doesn't mask it with distractions or pretend it doesn't affect her. Instead, she sits with it, feels it, and is open about it. She may cry, she may express her hurt, but she doesn't try to minimize or deny the reality of her emotion. Men notice when a woman is able to confront her pain openly. It's not a cry for attention or a sign of weakness. It's the sign of emotional maturity and strength. By acknowledging her pain, she also gives herself permission to heal. She doesn't shy away from the uncomfortable feelings. Instead, she faces them with courage and resilience. This vulnerability is deeply powerful. It shows that she is unafraid to face the depths of her emotions, to confront the tough parts of herself, and to grow stronger through the experience. Perhaps one of the most powerful ways a woman shows vulnerability is by trusting others with her heart. Love and trust are two of the most vulnerable things we can give to another person. When a woman opens her heart, when she allows herself to be vulnerable in a relationship, she is offering her most precious self, her emotions, her desires, her dreams, and her fears. This kind of trust is not easy to give, especially after experiencing past pain or betrayal. Yet the woman who shows vulnerability does so with the understanding that love is a risk worth taking. Men notice when a woman is willing to open her heart, to trust in the possibility of love even when it feels uncertain. It's not about being reckless. It's about being brave enough to put her heart on the line, knowing that love, though uncertain, is also one of the most beautiful experiences life has to offer. The woman who is willing to be vulnerable with her love demonstrates a kind of strength that is truly extraordinary. She allows herself to be fully seen, completely open and emotionally honest, which can create a deep, transformative bond between herself and others. In conclusion, vulnerability is not a weakness, but a powerful demonstration of emotional strength and authenticity. When a woman shows vulnerability, whether by sharing her emotions, asking for help, acknowledging her pain, or trusting others with her heart, she exudes a quiet strength that draws others to her. Men notice this because vulnerability is rare and it requires immense courage. The woman who embraces her vulnerability with grace and openness not only connects on a deeper level with those around her, but also creates space for others to be authentic and open in return. In a world that often values appearances over authenticity, vulnerability becomes a beacon of true strength and emotional depth. Words are powerful tools for communication. They have the ability to inspire, inform, express, and connect. But there is a language that transcends speech, one that speaks directly to the heart, bypassing the need for any verbal exchange. It's the way a woman communicates without words, the subtle signals, the quiet gestures, the body language that can often say more than any sentence could. Men, whether consciously or unconsciously, are deeply attuned to this nonverbal communication, and they notice when a woman speaks volumes without uttering a single word. There is an art to communication without words, and it often reveals more about a person's true feelings, intentions, and state of mind than spoken language ever could. For women, this silent communication is not just an occasional occurrence, but a skill that is refined over time. It speaks of emotional intelligence, intuition, and an understanding of the power of silence. When a woman communicates without words, she taps into a deeper, more primal form of communication that connects with others on a level that's often far more meaningful than what is said. One of the most powerful ways a woman communicates without words is through her eyes. They are often described as windows to the soul, and for good reason. The eyes can convey a myriad of emotions: love, pain, joy, sadness, longing, or even quiet confidence, without a single syllable being spoken. When a woman locks eyes with someone, she is often saying more than she realizes. Her gaze can tell you if she's interested, if she's feeling distant, if she's in pain, or if she's simply lost in thought. Men notice when a woman's eyes speak more than her words. A soft glance, a piercing stare, or a lingering look can convey everything from admiration to vulnerability. Her eyes can communicate warmth, affection, or even the need for space. The subtle shift of her gaze, whether it's the way she looks at someone when they speak or how she holds someone's attention, communicates everything from attraction to discomfort to deep connection. There is no denying that a woman's eyes hold the power to say things that words cannot capture. And men are often mesmerized by this silent exchange. Touch is another powerful form of nonverbal communication that transcends words. A gentle touch on the arm, a hand placed on the back, a reassuring squeeze of the hand, all of these actions can communicate affection, care, reassurance, and connection in ways that words often fail to do. A woman who uses touch to communicate can convey warmth and comfort, signaling a deep level of emotional connection and support. Men are attuned to these gestures and understand that they often carry more meaning than a spoken "I care about you." The way a woman touches someone can reveal everything from the tenderness in her heart to the level of intimacy or comfort she feels. Whether it's the way she places her hand on someone's shoulder in a moment of comfort, or the way she holds someone's hand in the quiet of the night, touch is an undeniable form of communication that speaks directly to the soul. It can communicate comfort, affection, concern, or even desire, all without uttering a single word. The way a woman carries herself and the subtle language of her body can tell a story long before she ever speaks. From the way she stands to the way she moves, posture and body language convey confidence, openness, vulnerability, and even disinterest. A woman who stands tall with shoulders back is sending a message of self-assuredness and confidence, while a slouched posture can convey a sense of insecurity or discomfort. Similarly, the way she positions herself when interacting with others can signal her emotional state and level of engagement. Men notice when a woman's body language speaks louder than her words. A tilt of the head, a slight lean forward during a conversation, or the way she moves through a room. All of these physical cues communicate more than a mere verbal exchange could. Her body tells others if she is engaged and open, or if she's closed off and guarded. When a woman uses her posture and body language intentionally, she can communicate interest, attraction, discomfort, or even boundaries, all without uttering a single syllable. Sometimes the most powerful communication comes not from what a woman says, but from what she chooses not to say. Silence can be a tool of immense power, as it allows her to communicate without needing words. A woman who remains silent in a moment of conflict, for instance, may not be retreating from the conversation, but choosing to listen, reflect, and process before responding. Her silence in such moments can communicate a desire for resolution, a need for space, or a deep level of emotional understanding. In relationships, silence can also convey a deep level of emotional presence. When a woman sits quietly with someone during a difficult moment, offering no words but only her presence, she is communicating empathy and support in a way that words often cannot express. Men notice this kind of communication, as it creates a space of comfort and understanding where words are unnecessary. The silence is not awkward, it is laden with unspoken meaning, creating a connection that runs deeper than the spoken word. Laughter, too, is a form of communication that can speak volumes. The way a woman laughs can communicate joy, confidence, or even nervousness. It can reveal her sense of humor, her personality, and her comfort level with those around her. Whether it's a quiet giggle or a hearty, contagious laugh, the way a woman expresses amusement or joy without words creates a sense of connection and intimacy. Her laughter can communicate how comfortable she feels, how much she enjoys someone's company, and how open she is to enjoying the present moment. Men notice when a woman's laughter fills the space. It's not just about the sound, but the warmth and energy it carries. A woman's laughter is often infectious, and it can be a sign of trust and connection. Her laughter is a window into her true self, a sign that she's at ease and a reflection of her spirit. When she laughs openly and freely, it communicates a sense of joy and shared experience, building a bridge between her and those around her. Empathy is another silent language that speaks through a woman's actions rather than her words. A woman who notices when someone is upset and takes the time to comfort them without being asked, or who goes out of her way to help someone in need, is communicating a profound sense of care and understanding. Her actions speak louder than any words ever could, as they demonstrate that she is attuned to the emotions of others and is willing to go the extra mile to make them feel seen and supported. Men recognize when a woman communicates empathy through her actions, whether it's by offering a comforting touch, a kind gesture, or simply being there when someone needs her. This form of silent communication can build trust and deepen connections, as it shows a genuine understanding of and concern for the emotional state of others. It is a powerful reminder that sometimes actions truly do speak louder than words. In conclusion, the way a woman communicates without words is a testament to the depth of her emotional intelligence, intuition, and connection to others. Through her eyes, touch, posture, silence, laughter, and actions, she speaks volumes without ever uttering a word. Men notice these subtle, nonverbal cues because they communicate things that words often cannot capture. A woman who is aware of and confident in her ability to communicate without words carries an innate power, the ability to connect, to express, and to be understood in ways that transcend language. It is in this silent communication that true intimacy, connection, and understanding are born. There is a quiet, undeniable strength in a woman who knows how to establish and maintain her boundaries. Boundaries are often misunderstood as barriers or walls that separate people, but in reality, they are the invisible lines of respect and self-preservation that define who we are, what we are willing to accept, and how we expect to be treated. For a woman, having strong boundaries is not just about saying no. It's about understanding her worth and safeguarding her energy, time, and emotional well-being. When a woman sets boundaries, she is communicating something fundamental. She knows her value. She understands that her time, her space, and her emotions are precious and not to be given away freely or to just anyone. She is aware that she is not obligated to accept behaviors or circumstances that drain her, diminish her sense of self, or violate her peace. Instead of being seen as an act of selfishness, the strength in setting boundaries reflects a deep respect for herself and the life she is building. A woman with strong boundaries is able to define her limits with clarity, and she knows exactly where to draw the line. Whether in relationships, friendships, or work, she is clear about what she is willing to tolerate and what she is not. She does not apologize for her boundaries, nor does she feel the need to explain them endlessly to others. Her boundaries are not negotiable. They are rooted in a deep sense of self-respect and self-awareness. This clarity allows her to navigate life with confidence, as she is no longer weighed down by confusion or indecision about what she will accept. When she sets a boundary, she stands firm in it, knowing that it is essential for her emotional and mental well-being. Men, particularly, recognize and respect this kind of clarity, as it signals to them that she values herself and is not willing to compromise her peace for anyone or anything. One of the most empowering aspects of having strong boundaries is the courage to say no. Saying no is not always easy, especially when we fear rejection or the disapproval of others. However, a woman who has developed the strength of her boundaries understands that saying no is an essential part of self-care. It is an act of courage and self-respect that affirms her right to prioritize her own needs and well-being over the expectations and demands of others. Saying no is often misunderstood as a refusal or rejection. But in truth, it is an affirmation of self-worth. It is a way for her to protect her energy and to ensure that she is only engaging in situations, relationships, or commitments that align with her values and goals. Men notice when a woman has the strength to say no, when she does not feel compelled to please others at the expense of her own happiness. Her ability to say no gracefully and confidently signals a sense of self-assurance and a commitment to her own well-being. The strength in a woman's boundaries is also reflected in her ability to walk away when necessary. She understands that not every situation or relationship is worth holding on to, especially when it begins to compromise her values, peace, or personal growth. Walking away can be one of the hardest decisions to make, particularly when emotions are involved or when there is a fear of losing someone or something. However, a woman who knows her worth will choose to leave situations that no longer serve her, even if it means facing discomfort or uncertainty. Her ability to walk away does not come from a place of weakness, but from strength. It is the strength to let go of what is no longer healthy or beneficial for her, and to trust that there is something better waiting for her. This ability to walk away gracefully is one of the most powerful aspects of setting boundaries, as it requires deep inner strength and self-trust. Men take note of this quiet strength, understanding that a woman who can walk away from what no longer serves her is someone who knows her value and is not afraid to choose herself. One of the most significant aspects of strong boundaries is protecting emotional energy. A woman who is attuned to her boundaries understands the importance of safeguarding her emotions from negativity, toxicity, and unnecessary drama. She knows that her emotional energy is precious, and she does not allow others to drain or manipulate it. She chooses her relationships and interactions carefully, knowing that her emotional health is just as important as her physical health. She is not afraid to distance herself from people who are constantly draining or destabilizing her emotions, and she will not tolerate emotional manipulation or dishonesty. Men notice this quality in a woman because it signifies emotional intelligence and strength. A woman who can protect her emotional energy sends a message that she values her peace and will not allow others to undermine it. A woman with strong boundaries sets clear standards for respect. She does not allow others to treat her in ways that are inconsiderate, disrespectful, or demeaning. She understands that respect is not something that should be earned over time. It is something that must be given freely and immediately. When a woman communicates her standards for respect, she is essentially setting the groundwork for how she expects to be treated. This does not mean that she demands perfection from others, but rather that she expects kindness, honesty, and consideration in all of her interactions. A woman who is firm in her boundaries will not tolerate disrespect, and she will not hesitate to speak up when someone crosses the line. This unwavering commitment to respect sends a clear message to those around her that she expects to be treated with dignity, and anyone who fails to meet those expectations will be shown the door. The foundation of strong boundaries lies in a deep sense of self-love and self-care. A woman who has strong boundaries understands that in order to give to others, she must first give to herself. She recognizes that her happiness and well-being are not dependent on anyone else, and she makes choices that align with her personal needs, desires, and goals. Self-care is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Whether it's taking time for herself to recharge, saying no to an invitation that would drain her, or choosing to spend her time doing things that nourish her soul, a woman with strong boundaries knows the importance of taking care of herself first. Her self-love is not rooted in selfishness, but in the understanding that when she cares for herself, she is better able to show up fully for others. Men notice when a woman prioritizes her own self-care. Lastly, a woman with strong boundaries maintains a sense of independence. She understands that while relationships are important, her sense of self is not defined by anyone else. She is whole on her own. and she does not rely on external validation to feel worthy or complete. This independence is not about isolating herself or rejecting relationships. It is about maintaining her individuality and knowing that her happiness does not depend on another person's actions or approval. This independence is often a silent form of strength that others take note of. Men recognize when a woman is self-sufficient and self-assured, and they are often drawn to this strength. It signals that she is not looking for someone to complete her. She is already complete, and any relationship she enters is about partnership, not dependency. Her ability to maintain independence while nurturing deep, meaningful connections shows that she values her autonomy and will not settle for less than she deserves. A woman with strong boundaries is a woman who knows her worth. She understands the importance of protecting her emotional energy, setting clear standards of respect, and maintaining a sense of independence. Her boundaries are not barriers, but powerful declarations of self-respect, self-love, and self-preservation. By clearly defining her limits, saying no when necessary, walking away from situations that no longer serve her, and ensuring she's always true to herself, she not only protects her peace, but also creates space for meaningful, respectful relationships. This strength is quiet but undeniable, and it speaks volumes about the woman who has mastered it. Through her boundaries, she teaches others how to treat her, and more importantly, how to treat themselves. It's this profound sense of self-awareness and confidence that commands respect, not only from others, but from herself as well.